Alright, my Intel user, I know y'all have been happy for a long time. And y'all can't wait until the new lines of all Intel products come up. The Rocket Lake, Alder Lake, and the new Z500 motherboard series. Yes, I said it. The new Z500 motherboard and chipsets are extremely. Yes, I can say extremely because one, everybody been waiting on Intel for a long time. Um, which brings the question: while Intel was just sitting back, waiting, Intel finally are excited of the new Z500 motherboard chipset models, the new Rocket Lake S and the Alder Lake S. 11th gen and 12th gen CPUs that's going to go ahead and make their way to the market. Now, the question is, Intel always did their thing with their CPUs, their motherboards. Now the Z4 and the Z400 series, as well as the Z500 series, gave you a little more overclock, a little more better performance in gaming, just a better performance in everything you wanted to do. So now, Intel is probably to announce their Z590 motherboard series are over 50 plus motherboard and detail. Intel new Z590 chipset. What's new about this chipset? Now, that's what all the Intel maniacs would like to know. What is new about your new line of products that is coming out? And what to expect for the new lines of CPUs and the new line motherboards coming out? What to expect? At the start of 2021, Intel unveiled the latest desktop platform designed primarily for its Rocket Lake 11th generation processors. Yes, they had the 1200 to run some of the Rocket Lake S on their motherboard, but they said, wait a minute, we want to go ahead and do better. So, they go ahead and they got the Z490 running strong, did some updates, they did a BIOS update so you can run the new 11 gen on them. But they say, you know what, we want more, we want better. So now they got the new Z590 chipset coming out, which is going to hold a whole lot. So, to all my Intel Maniacs, are y'all ready? Are y'all getting excited? Now to the new Intel Maniacs that's coming to the market. So you know what? I'm new. I love Intel. I want to go ahead and build my first Intel motherboard gaming PC that does everything you like. Now, the new chipset moves to double bandwidth to the CPU, allowing for more hardware to make the most of the chipsets at once. It also moves the DDR4 3200 support, a new peak in a product line that was previously on DDR4 2933. The new Z590 chipset, it's Intel flagship designed for Rocket Lakes, but offering backward compatibility with Common Lake processors. Yes, if you have the Z590, now maybe it's going to be backward compatible with the i7 700K 10th generation and the i9 900K 10th generation. Those are only two processors that might be backwards compatible. I'm not sure about the i5s and the i3s, but I'm going to go ahead and let y'all know a little bit more into that. But that is kind of interesting that they are making the motherboards backwards compatible with the 10th gen. The only 10th gen that might be compatible with is the i7s and the i9s. Now, it'd be good to see an i5 compatible with it because, you know, the new Rocket Lake CPUs are 8 cores and 12 threads. So, With that enough said, as is usual with the new platform launching, we reached out to every motherboard vendor for their Z590 model list, images, and specifications. Every vendor we spoke to had something on hand. However, some products are still under development for launch over the next couple of months. Yes. Now, that's a good thing because, just like I said in one of my previous videos, in about late May to late fall, they supposed to be running the new lines of new motherboards on the Z590 architect, possible Z600 as well too. Intel say, hey, we just getting started. We not stopping. To me, I don't think it's more of a competition thing. It's like we got a good product that you want the consumers to have. Then go ahead on and do your thing, test it out, make sure there's no issues or no stuttering with the product. So when people buy it, they did everything right, they built their rigging systems right, and this thing, you turn it on and then you get no posts. Now that'd be embarrassing. So they running everything from the DDR5 memory lanes to the PCIe 5.0s, bus lanes, everything. They're running everything from the M.2 slots. Everything is being tested before they release it, which is good. But at the time of publication, we have details of 50 plus motherboards. We will have endeavors to keep this Z590 overview updated with the latest information, including pricing and new models. Now, notice I said including pricing and new models. Now, everybody had an issue with Intel market. Intel always come up with some good stuff. Some of their stuff rushed, some of their stuff not rushed. But when it came down to the marketing team and about setting the price and making it budget friendly for the consumers, they felt that aspect. So this is one reason why I had to go ahead and dig through my sources to make sure I find the right sources with no leak information, because with leak information, it's mostly biased to me. And then you gotta go ahead and dig through the details. You gotta go ahead and start doing your research, etc., etc. But with this here, it's on point, and I'm kind of excited for Intel. Why? Because it's been a long time that they come up with something brand spanking new that's go ahead and give to the consumers. Two, the thing is, with the changing of the CEO and everything, will the new CEO and the Intel marketing team gonna make these CPUs budget friendly and competitive with their other retail marketers such as AMD? Are they gonna go ahead on it and make it more budget friendly? So hey, we want our CPUs to start popping off the shelves quick, or you go ahead, you don't make it budget friendly. You give it some ridiculous price where nobody like me. Hey, I'm gonna got my Z590 motherboard. Then I look at the new Rocket Lake, and then I'm looking at an i5 processor, 11 gen, and it's saying $599 for a 6-core 12-thread processor. I don't think so. See, that's the thing Intel always felt on, is making things budget friendly. Even though with the 1151 300 series, like the i7 8700 and the 8700K, them processors shit came down a little bit. But when you got your third party vendors, they want to go ahead on and fluctuate the price to make some little profit for no reason. So this is one reason why I tell you, all my viewers, as well as the consumers who's out there watching, who can't wait to go ahead on and buy the new Intel chip, and say, hey, I'm going to go ahead on the micro center. We have a micro center in your area. Our area is Best Buy. And trust me, our Best Buy Swook. Swook. That's all I can say, because when you go ahead on and see, if you order an offline Best Buy, boom. You put the software, you put the product in the basket, and then next thing you know, it takes forever to move over. And that's another thing with Micro Center. You can just go inside the store. You got friendly customer service, etc. They help you. They get you in. They get you out. You walk out the store with your product. Now, here's the thing. With this COVID-19 thing going on, is there going to be a nice good mass stock supply, or are they going to go ahead and be a short stock supply? That's the question right there. And this is one thing that I can't wait to see towards the end of February. Yes, end of February, early March is the launch of the RTX 3060 12 GB GPU card, the new Rocket Lake S 11 Gen Intel APU, and the BIOS update for the Z490 motherboard, and the launch premiere of the Z590 and Z500 series motherboards. Yes. So now, with the Intel Z590 chipset dual double bandwidth of the CPU, due to the size of the core being used, the newest Rocket Lake flagship is only 8 cores compared to the previous generation 10. But by the contrast, Intel has put a few new features on the leading flagship chipset, and the numbers of vendors are straight out the gate with the wide variety of models and price points. See, that's one thing I rate with all the manufacturers, and have their little PCBs all ready to go. Great, strong, massive design, outtake, in look, everything. So now with all the PCBs, ASUS already stated that they're raising their prices. So we go ahead and look for a high price mark on the ASUS motherboards and their GPUs, etc. But ASUS been in the game for a long time. So we know ASUS, we got your back 100. Just make it affordable. That's it. ASRock, same thing. Make your motherboards affordable. And Gigabyte, yes, same thing. Make your motherboards affordable. Now, first up is the CPU to chipset link. So when you go ahead on and you drop the CPU in, it's going to go automatically, just like it said, CPU to chipset link. That means it's going to automatically link up. So that means with this, I kind of like this because with this, by me reading that little statement right there, it just means that once you connect the CPU in, it's automatically going to go ahead and power up the chipset automatic. So you ain't got to worry about anything. Once you download your Windows 10, everything should be picked up. Now, if you want to download the drivers like I do, you know, or if you don't, just like, Windows 10 pick up your drivers, but I want my drivers to be put in perfectly. No issues. So, some people like downloading the drivers, some people don't. So, that's an option right there. 2, which has been a double from a DMI by 4 link to now a DMI by 8 link. This means an effective CPU to chipset bandwidth of the PCIe 8.0 by 8 link, and suggested that 2 PCIe's 3.0s by 4 drivers can be attached and run at full speed. What? So here it is. You can go ahead and connect 2 M.2 drives, and they're going to go ahead and crank them things out at full speed. And we talking about the 4.0s. So yes, if you got that Samsung the new series fast flagship M.2, and you putting 2 of them bad boys, baby, on fire, it's going to take off, run at the full speed. So you ain't got no problem. So if you're a gamer and you got everything all linked up, and you got the M.2 fired up fast, boy, look out here, boy. Fast boot up time, fast boot up game time, fast everything. So that's a good thing. Now, and run at full speed out of all 500 series chipset, we are under the impression that the Z590 is the only one that will do this, with all others forcing an X4 link. Also, the 8 The X8 link only works with Rocket Lake CPUs and will downgrade to a 4X to X4 with a previous generation processor. So y'all keep that in mind. Alrighty, now here I'm going to go ahead and give y'all a quick picture of what the PCBs look like. Here they didn't want to go ahead and give it into full details, but clearly y'all gonna go ahead on and go full module with it. If y'all already on a 750 plus watt power supply, you gonna go ahead and go full modular, because here you can go ahead and see your two 8-pin connect with your 24-pin connect. Here is your I think this is your bias button and your power button on. So, which is just good. I love the design of it. So to all y'all little to all y'all little good PC builders that likes to go ahead and use cable mods to they builds. Here, if I had this case here, it looks more on the silverish side with me. I will go ahead on and do a triple out color with the cable mods with the silver, blue. I think that's purple or pink. I stick with the purple. I'm not crazy about pink, but here you can't go wrong. Like, say for instance, you know a friend that just got who fought breast cancer for a good long time. This is real good for a breast cancer build. You don't go ahead on and you got that pink and white flow going on. Now this is this midnight black going strong over here. Well, this dark beta style right here. Now you got this pink and everything flashing, but knowing me, I just go ahead and kick that black smooth. And one thing I would like to go ahead and see an RGB company like Corsair and Leon Lee, etc., is go ahead on and animate that Knight Rider visor back and forth motion. Boy, that thing will be on point. And then you go ahead on and switch out the colors to whatever you like. So, see me, if I did this build here, I'll just go ahead on the flex red and black mode. Easy, go in that Darth Vader mode look. These board looks cool. I like them. So you probably might be looking at these motherboards from Asus, ASRock, Gigabyte, and of course I'm gonna throw MSI. Cause I know some of y'all love MSI. I don't. Y'all know the reason why. So I ain't gotta explain that in this video post right here. So that's a good thing to also look out. Is look for that as well too. So the second big difference is that the Z590 platform will enable the processor to use PCIe 4.0 Intel, which includes another CPU PCIe 4.0 support for the first time, which go ahead and crank out all 20 lanes of it, which will enable a full X16 link for add-in cards, as well as another PCIe 4.0 by 4 for storage. Wow. Vendors will be able to split that X16 as required, similar to previous mainstream motherboards, into an 8x8 or 8x4x4. Bifurcated solution will appropriate muxing. The third party is native. The third party update is native USB 3.2 G 2x2 20 gigabytes. Then of course you're gonna have your Type C from the chipset, but that's good because a lot of motherboards still stuck on that 3.3 or 3.1. But here you go, 3.2 by G by 2x2, 20 gigabytes per second. Type C support from the chipset. Motherboards that take advantage of this feature will likely enable it either for the front panel or the rear panel connector, although it is an optional and some of the cheaper models might not have that port, which is true. If you look at some of the AMD boards and you look at some of the Intel 10th Gen boards, it's true. Like some of the 350s or the 300, the 400 series don't have that, but the higher series, the Z models, carries that Type C port. So that's a good thing. So, and then too, if you go virtual and you got a Type C port, oh my gosh, everything gonna be on fire. Yes, sir. Intel is offering better memory support for its 11th generation processors, which have been upgraded from DDR4 2033 to DDR4 3200. Yes. Now they know they also have the DDR5 in making. So yes, the DDR5 is going to start off at speeds of 4200, I think. Also posted that into a video as well. But the highest of that DDR5 will be going to 8400 megahertz soon. Now, somebody on 8400 megahertz, boy, your computer is on fire. I'm just gonna go ahead and call that volcano activity because those speeds gonna be so ridiculous that y'all cannot handle. It's gonna run everything perfectly, and it's gonna open up your game's lightning speed. That's all I can tell you. This means that the motherboard vendor are building a base specification to meet the DDR4 3200 at JEDEC specifications, but most will go beyond this for overclocked memory. Yes, to all y'all massive overclockers out there, this is also good for you too. So now you know that the board is overclockable, and then you ain't got no issues with it. So just go ahead on and buy your overclocking memory. All your parts are overclockable. Just don't burn nothing out. That's all I'll tell you. Don't burn the board out. Don't burn the memory out. And damn sure don't burn the damn GPU out. Because I know some of y'all have burnt out GPUs, motherboards, memory, and damn near everything in between. Probably set the whole goddamn PC on fire. I can't wait to see videos of those too. Due to the ratio jump, it means that we have motherboards offered up to DDR4 5333. Although buying that memory will cost a lot of money, of course, note that the memory profiles higher than DDR4 3200 are classified as overclocking. So yes, if you go ahead on there and pick up a 4800 and have OC on it, just know that OC means overclocking to the new builders. So if you're an overclocker and you know what you're doing, go ahead on and overclock away, but don't burn the house down. Which officially nullifies all warranties. Yes, once you overclock, just keep in mind because a lot of people fail to do this here, and they wind up putting these burnt out parts on eBay. If you go ahead and overclock any of your parts, such as CPUs, memories, and GPUs, it lose the memory automatically get nullified. That means that the warranty is no longer backed up because they already know that y'all already fried them down capacitors to its capacity. So that's why a lot of y'all put them down water and heavy as cooling blocks on them. Intel does itself offers what it called PTPP, the Intel Performance Tuning Protection Plan, which that's a good thing to know, which is a warranty that can be purchased directly from Intel for an additional cost. So yes, to y'all non-overclocking persons that don't know what the hell they doing, make sure that you pick up the Intel Performance Tuning Protection Plan. Just know you're gonna pay a little extra cost, and you can go ahead and get you a new product on hand. See, like me, if I get my stuff, I'll probably go 3600 DDR4. Keep it clean, keep it easy, keep it copacetic, and just it is what it is. Now, the Z590, the Z490, and the Z390. Now, just like as they said, if you get the Z390, don't expect to get the same features as the Z490 because we know the Z490 is being upgraded to the Rocket Lake S CPUs that's coming out, and then the Z590 is got the LGA 1200, but they're gonna also have a Z600 that's gonna go ahead and support the LGA 1700. So y'all look out for that because they ain't done. They just go ahead and bring out so the Intel maniacs could be a little happy while they go ahead on the launch day level LGA 1700 late summer because that's when the new Alder Lake CPUs come out, which I think is good. So that's a good thing that Intel waited, did their homework, did the designs of their product. But the thing is it budget friendly? That becomes the question mark right there. We will find that out about towards the first or second week of February, because we all know that March comes out the Rocket Lake S CPU APUs. So because we sell the APUs, because they have the GPU inside the processor. So if you don't want no graphic card on your motherboard, you could go ahead and use the onboard graphics. And then you can go ahead and do what you want to do with your PC. Just keep in mind, you build your PC for you, not for others. So if your friend want to pick on it, just tell your friend to go to hell and get out my house and go enjoy your PC. Alrighty, back to the LGAs. Now the PCI lanes, CPUs are 20 on the Z590, PCIe specifications, CPU 4.0, PCIe configurations by 16, by 8, by 8, by 8, by 8, by 4 plus 4, DMI lanes at 3.0, by 8 RKL, chipset, PCIe 3.0 lanes, 224, max USB 3.2, Gen 2, Gen 1, 6 by 10 with the question mark. That means that speeds can fluctuate, so they don't really know how fast the thing's moving. USB 3.2 Gen 2 by 2, 20 gigabytes per second. Yes. Total USBs. God damn. All right, this is interesting. So total USBs, and I'm gonna highlight it because some of y'all love a lot of USB ports. 14 USB ports on the Z590. Damn, that's a lot of USB ports. And you know some computer cases comes with two 3.0 ports with two 2.0 ports and whatever's in the back. That's a lot. Max SATA ports are 6. Memory lane channel dual 2x2. So that means that you're going to go ahead and get 4 memory slots. Intel Optane memory support, yes. Intel Rapid Storage Technology, RTS, yes. Maximum Rapid Storage Technology port is a question mark on the Z590. Integrated Wi-Fi Mac, yes. Wi-Fi 6. Intel Smart Sign, yes. Integrated SDXC. SDA 3.0 support, question mark. Overclocking, yes. Intel vPro, no. Max HSIO lanes, question mark. ME firmware 15. Total design power by wattage is 6. Same thing with the Z490. PCIe lanes, as you see, 16, 3.0, 16 by 8 by 8 by 8 by 8 plus 4. Same thing with the only thing goes down. It goes down by 4, goes down by 1. The CPU PCIe 3.0 lanes is at 24. Here, they have AS Media. They have the same thing. All boards have a total of 14 USB ports. Max SATAs is 6. All memory channel lines are 4 memory DIMM slots. Intel Optane memory support, yes. Intel Rapid Storage Technology, RTS support, yes. Max Rapid Storage Technology port 3, Wi-Fi 6. Now everybody know when you're on Wi-Fi, you're not supposed to game on Wi-Fi because you never know when your Wi-Fi says whether to go ahead on the blink. So it's best to go ahead and connect the wire. Intel Smart Sound, yes. Integrated SDXC, SDA 3.0 support, question mark. Overclocking support, yes. And y'all overclocking bastards. Y'all know y'all love the overclock things to the extreme until y'all start smelling circuitry burns. Yes, sir. That means that y'all, those volcano gamers, y'all gotta go ahead and push the balls, push the limits. It's like saying we got a new earthquake that just broke the Richter scale. 20.0 on the Richter scale. That's how y'all game. Y'all game your PC 20 plus on the gaming scale. Extreme hardcore. Intel V Pro N Max HS1 IO lanes 30. Here we don't know yet. It might be 40. It might be 35. Or just still might be the same. They haven't decided yet. ME firmware is at 14, so it went down 1. And TDP is 6. Same thing with the Z390. The ME firmware is at 12. The Max HSIO lanes are 30. Intel V Pro, none. Overclocking, yes. Integrated SDXC, yes. Intel Smart Sound, yes. Wi-Fi is 5, so it goes down 1. Everything pretty much the same, going up, except for the PCIe lanes of the CPU. So other than that, the new Intel Z590 chipset now includes another support for 3.2 Gen 2 by 2, 20 gigabytes per second with a Type-C connection. Just like I explained, that's pretty much great to people who want to go ahead and get into that to that streaming device I would like to get onto. Virtual reality. So y'all put y'all virtual reality gear on and y'all just go ahead and get loose and enjoy. It has network is also on a focal point for vendors, with Intel continuing to build its now the Wi-Fi 6 Mac into the chipset accessibility through Intel proprietary CNVI interface. Vendors will enable this through Intel latest AX2001 or AX2010 Wi-Fi 6. Wow. For wire connectivity, Intel identifies support for 2.5 gigabyte. Oh my gosh, that is rapidly fast. Jeez. And it supports Intel Thunderbolt 4 support for Maple Ridge. This is your back I/O port on the replica of games. Damn. That is insane. You get a 10 gigabyte and you get a 2.5 gigabyte. Oh my gosh, you get 2 Type-Cs. Damn. So basically here you just have a home theater unit all in one. Jeez. This is very interesting here. Another benefit, the users looking to attach extra screens, it's Thunderbolt 4 can support up to 2, oh my gosh, 2 4Ks and 1 8K display. That is ridiculous. So I can see I can see y'all right now connecting two 55 inches 4K TV screens to this array here. OMG. 2 55-inch 4K. Ouch. That is insane. The current Z590 product stacks motherboard confirmed so far as of 1/19 through our contact with vendors. We appreciate the total of 55 plus models of Z590. Most of these are currently announced and detailed, with a small number announced but waiting for full detail. Simply put, there will be no shortage of the models to select from. Y'all hear that? No shortage. So you got 50 states. I'm talking about the U.S. alone. 50 states. And about, on the gaming level, you should have about, maybe my number's wrong, but I'm taking a guess here. Y'all please correct me in the comment. I'm thinking that the average gamers are about 500,000. So you take 500,000, you times that by 50. It needs to be a whole lot of damn motherboards pumped out. So don't sit down here and send out 100 motherboards per state and say, "Oh, we was not expecting everybody to upgrade." Oh, but see, a lot of people don't. A lot of these vendors don't know. These manufacturers don't know that everybody's getting into gaming. Whether you like the game on console, PC gaming is on fire right now. It's like an erupting volcano. It cannot stop. So, I hope y'all right. That y'all got enough to go around. And you heard, simply put, there will be no shortage of models to select from. So Asus, Hasbro, Gigabyte, MSI, BioStar, ECS, Elite Group, and all the other third parties I've never heard of. So those are the main top four. The main top five, no, main top six I just mentioned that I know of. Everything else I never heard of. And this is from overseas. I don't think so. So, although users might start to bulk at the price with only a small number of boards dipping below the 200 mark, that's not bad. Surprisingly, there isn't much in the way of the micro ATX for the Z590, which availability looking limited. So basically, you might have a limited stock on the micro ATXs, but the full ATXs, oh, they fulled out. So they beefed out on these. And you already saw the board design, so y'all can't wait to get your hands on them and do what y'all gotta do. For small form factors, enthusiasts, Azra, Gigabyte, and MSI include a small selection of mini RTXs. As we already know that mini RTXs are hard to come around now, so there's only a limited stock few. So as you just read into this comment here, that they are very limited on the micro ATXs and the mini RTXs. So basically, all gonna be on hand is all 4 ATX motherboards. So y'all go ahead and y'all just keep that in mind. Okay, ASRock product stacks includes the returns of the Phantom Gaming series with focus on gaming elements, with the Tachi sitting at the top of the brand. Yes, the Tachi was their number one top seller in gaming boards. So yeah, there you go. The ASRock models. And moving right along, you got your Asus models. Oh, BioStar got they little bit limited stock, but BioStar doing their thing. A lot of people don't buy their motherboards, but BioStar has been around for quite some time. So, go ahead and check them out if y'all like BioStar as a manufacturer. Gigabyte, so plus all of them. So Gigabyte massively doing their thing. And last but not least is MSI. Now, y'all probably saying, why is MSI last? Because if you read the article stating that MSI sold the 3080s, all the RTX 30 series, to send it to a third party vendor that is underneath them, and they were scalping their cards. And we all know the retail price of them was like the RTX 3080 was what, about $699. The RTX 3080 was going for $1499, and the RTX 3090 series was going for damn near almost $3,000. So they were scalping the hell out of them cars, and they signed out letters saying, "Oh, we apologize," but I don't care how much letters you send out, how much apologies you send out. Wrong is wrong, and this is one reason why a lot of people made a video is that, do you trust the manufacturer you buy from? And this is one reason why MSI kind of like dug themselves deep in the hole, because I used to support all four of them. But since I catch that, I cannot support a manufacturer that's all about greed. Once I catch that, you automatically gone off my radar. Automatically. And everything that MSI make to me is just straight garbage after they did that. So I know they watching. That's how I feel about your products, because y'all made the mistake. When y'all sit down here, y'all start scalping now. Noticing that their motherboards are right here. Noticing that they might send them to one of their third-party vendors that's underneath them, and they might be scalping these motherboards. You see the prices in the corner. Now, the MSI MG Z590 Godlike is 1,019. You might find this on the market, and the third-party seller is on eBay. You might see this in motherboard probably going for damn near what $4,000 if you ain't careful. But somebody will pay that price because they want that product. And this is where common sense come into play at. So this is why I tell a lot of people that yeah, you see the price, just like the RTX 2060, they bringing those back, which I love it. But third party vendors are scalping those cards ridiculously. They sell them for $700 to $1,000. I don't think so. Now, if I can't get the RTX 3060, if I can't get any of these great products, I'm just gonna go ahead and stick with what I know that I could get my hands on, and the price is right. So, if I can't get my hands on the 11th gen CPUs, I'll just go ahead and stick with the 10th gen. Go ahead on and get that i5 10400 6 core to a thread. Easy, enjoy it, and I can't go wrong with it or anybody. And because that 10400 is an APU, so people who's not into gaming and they do Photoshop work and they got their 24-inch monitor easy. You can go ahead and connect to HDMI in the back, onboard graphics. You good to go. So that's another thing I like about the Intel, because a lot of they CPUs are APUs than AMDs. AMD has a short stock of APUs. So Intel have a strong stock of APUs. So you can go either or with this here and just say, hey, let me go ahead and do my thing, and I can't get no GPU, but I can still game at low settings. I can still operate my system, do what I want to do with my system, and be happy with that. So that's a whole good thing when to new builders and builders like me. I've been building for a while, so I get my parts. I do my survey on how much I want to spend. Once I get my budget intact, wow, it's on and popping. Normally my budget is about 800 max. I could get everything for $800 by paying attention to sales as well as product information, how much power this pulls, how much power I need for to operate all my main system. Pay attention to the TDP of the CPU. I'm looking for a CPU cooler. Like say for instance, the TDP of the i5 10400 65 watts. I could go ahead on and get my ID cooling, and I love ID cooling, or Thermaltake Contact 12. They TDP on the ID cooling IS60 is 130 watts, full max power. On the SE 224 XT is 180 watts max TDP, and my Thermaltake Contact Silent is 150 watts TDP max. So I ain't got no issues with overheating. That's another thing a lot of people need to pay attention of, how much power your CPU thermal design power pulls. Some people underguess it by buying these little rinky-dink CPU coolers, and they want to know why their temperatures are breaking hot, because y'all did your homework wrong when putting from the CPU to the IO to the AIO cooler or the air cooler. That's the main thing. Once you pick your CPU, find out the thermal design power. Then do your research on your thermal design power on your AIO cooler and your air cooler. Now, a lot of manufacturers don't list that. If you don't list it, I'm not buying it. Now, ID cooling, list there. There's a couple of like ID cooling, Arctic. They all list their thermal design max power on these CPU coolers and the AIO cooler, so you can't go wrong with that. If you underguess it, then you just put everything on over meltdown because your CPU is heating up real bad. Now back to the story. Eviga is planning on announcing their EATX. Damn, EVGA getting into it. Oh my gosh. Well, we know they do graphic cards and all, but they say you're going to get into this motherboard as well, too. And here's their models out. They colorful. iGaming Z590 Vulcan Z. All this is to be told. So this is a vendors that we waiting on to see how much the price is. As you see, some of the prices of MSI, Gigabyte haven't figured out their prices yet. So Biostar have not figured out their prices. And half of ASUS got some prices up, some prices not up. Moving right along, ASRock got only two boards. Is the ASRock Z590 Steel Legend 6E and the ASRock Z590 Steel Legend. Everything else is not priced up yet. So, but that's a good thing. They working on it, so they can go ahead and give you the right price, and the products can get sold. So that's a good thing. So I'm glad y'all like watching this video. Go ahead on and click the like button, subscribe to my channel. I will be putting this web page in my description below. So y'all go ahead on and do y'all thing for tonight. Enjoy y'all evening and peace. Love y'all.